Hello, Likers. Welcome back to our channel. It's me, your fave, your one and only, your baby girl, Malika. So, Likers, we are doing a critical review of Mr. Aloy series where marriage becomes a nightmare. Episode 48, part 2. It starts with a maker who is trying to make Jonathan understand that he needs to wake up. He cannot sit and let himself be manipulated by his ex-sister-in-law. Moreover, they have no relationship, irrespective of the fact that Jonathan is trying to make it seem like she did a lot for him. She didn't really do that much. Besides, what did she do apart from eating his food? What did she do? So Jonathan tried to make like try to explain, but nothing. The next thing shows Jonathan and Jetta laying down. Jonathan was telling Jetta about his day and made mention of the fact that he met up with the maker, and all the rest, and the maker was okay with their plans of sending Teresa away, and also make mention of the fact that Emeka gave him idea that they should set her up like maybe she stole something, so that it won't make people raise eyebrows, stuff like that. Because how would it look like? Imagine your sister-in-law came to your house and she stayed with you for a while. Then because you're married to a new woman, you want to send her away, stuff like that. So they needed to set her up. And to Jetta was like, if Jonathan is feeling guilty about it, then he should say no more. He should say less. She's going to sort it out because that is her domain. Like, that's where she's known. You understand? She's going to take care of it. She just needs Jonathan's okay for her to go ahead. That is nothing. Jonathan will just have to go out of the house and she'll sort everything. Like, to her, that is where she is very strong. And Jonathan is enjoying this because to Jonathan, that is the kind of woman that he wants. The woman that will cover his mess because he's a weakly. The woman that will do stuff for him. So the next thing shows Teresa and Benita sitting in the sitting room. They were talking about her mother's restaurant. As soon as Jetta walked in, she walked in with this aura, with this negative aura, this bad energy. Because she knew what she had done, so she came to start wahala by talking about how she has misplaced her money in this house, and she has searched everywhere. She couldn't find it. She has searched everywhere in her room, everywhere in the house. She couldn't find it. So to her, the only place she has not searched it is their rooms. She would like to search Benita's room. Like, this is something that is, I don't know, maybe some people might not see that way, but it's very rude, to walk up to somebody to suspect them, of stealing from you. It is rude, but to her it's more like, if they don't have anything to hide, that is easy. It's supposed to be easy for them to do, because if what are they hiding for them not to want her to search their rooms, especially Benita? Because to Benita it is disrespectful, because this is a house that people have lived for how many years. They've never had theft issues there. Never. The person who still was Big Joe that stole from his daughter, and got caught. But I've never had theft incident in that house. How come where is this coming from? But they were thrown off. They seem to forget that Jetta has been plotting. So, like, Teresa is trying to understand, like, if Jetta is accusing them of something, they think she should just come up plain and be like, yes, I'm accusing somebody, I'm accusing. Because what's the essence of saying that you need to search when you know very well that none of them stole anything from you? But if you think that Jetta is going to let this go slide, imagine this is something that she and her yeye with her husband have planned. Benita was so pissed because to her it was disrespectful and she didn't want to do it, but her aunt needed to talk her, because they have nothing to hide. So let her, because Teresa was thinking that and hoping that it was going to be just Benita's room. Teresa told Benita to stay calm and let her do her job. Let her go and search it, because it's of no use arguing with her. Arguing with her will make matters worse, because it will be as if you have something to hide. That is the reason why you don't want her to go and search. So Teresa diffuse the situation, and Jetta wanted them to go like ASAP to go and check things for themselves, because she didn't want to go alone. So the next thing shows Benita, who has brought them into her bedroom. She stood there and waiting for Jetta to go on and search. Like, as we all know that scenarios like this, besides this is a setup, we all know that in setups like that, you will not go straight to where you kept the thing. You first try to turn around before you go there. We already know how it works. So she went in, she searched, she didn't even search much, and she was like, it's okay, I didn't see anything. And Benita was shocked. The lies was like, is this all you needed to do? Like, this is crazy. So where did you search now? You open my wardrobe, and that is it. So she said now she needed to search the next place, which is Teresa's room. That was when Benita went ballistic, because to Benita, this is you being disrespectful. Calling my aunt, indirectly calling my aunt a thief, that is disrespectful to the highest level. Like, how could you? Why would you do something like that? And to Jetta doesn't care at this point. Jetta is going to do what Jetta is going to do. It doesn't really matter whether Benita likes it or not. Jetta wants to search their room. Jetta is going to do that, because to her, if Teresa is not hiding anything, Teresa is supposed to live the same way Jetta, gave her access to. The same way Benita gave her access to her room. That is the same way Teresa should, and she doesn't say anything, So to make it easy, she even made a promise that she's willing to apologize should in case she finds nothing in the bedroom, But Benita was so out of it, because to Benita, Cheta was seeing herself too much. Like, Benita almost felt like buying her, because to her, Cheta is seeing herself too much because she's married to her dad and all the rest. Like, to her, this is her house. Anything that belongs to her husband, now that they are legally married, belongs to her as well. How can you be claiming legally married to a married man? So the next thing shows Jetta, who went into Teresa's room. She went straight to the wardrobe. I knew Jetta was up to something, the way she walked to that wardrobe and all the rest, and the way she was scattering this woman's things. You know that she hid it there, and I don't know why things like this always keep succeeding. I dislike it so much. She was just flinging Teresa's clothes, just throwing it at her, throwing it on the ground. The next thing you see, she carried Teresa's box, put it on the floor to check. That is because she checked under, then she went by the corner and she saw, where that zipper is. She saw, she was like, to her, she has found the money. When we all know she kept that money there. And the next thing you could see was a slap. Like, how disrespectful could you be? How disrespectful can you be? To slap a woman old enough to be your mother. To her, Teresa disrespected her by stealing from her. Did you see her put the money there? Somebody whose room is open, anyone can walk in. When we know you kept it there. And Teresa is even trying to make it seem like she didn't do anything. She has nothing to do with this scenario. Jetta lighted another slap again. So to her, it's more like Teresa is not supposed to defend herself. Teresa stole from her. Teresa needs to go, because she cannot harbor a thief, and she went on it and gave her a second slap. And Teresa is keeper. I got so pissed, guys, in this part, and she wanted to give a third slap because Teresa kept defending herself, telling that she has never stolen anything from anyone. She has never, touched anything. That what Jetta is doing is very wrong. Jetta went in on a third one. And that was when Benita had to step in, because to her, the disrespect was becoming too much. Like, how much do you want to disrespect somebody old enough to be your mother? How much? And she's asking that Teresa has to leave. But Benita challenged her, because the problem is that it's as if Benita does not want to open up that is her house, because that house belongs to Benita now. Even her dad is not aware. Like, as I can't wait to see how they are going to feel, as soon as they get the memo that that house belongs to Benita. Yes, I can't wait to see what is going to happen, you know. So to her, it was more like no matter what Benita does, her aunt must leave the house, which is what you've wanted all along. Yes, that was just what you wanted and nothing else. So the next scene shows Teresa crying in the sitting room. She was sitting on the couch with Benita. Benita felt so bad for her aunt. She was so pissed. But you know very well that Benita cannot fight Jetta. You know, her aunt can beat Jetta, but I don't know why she didn't beat her. Jetta came downstairs and was like, so how come you're still here? Because to her, she thought that as soon as she said that, Teresa would have packed her load, her kaya, Oya, Otilo, and should have been going. You know, but Benita told her, my aunt is not going anywhere. You know, Benita was standing on business, standing, defending her aunt because she knows that her aunt couldn't have stolen anything. And here comes the almighty dumbest man in this on the planet, Jonathan, screaming. Why is he hearing screams from outside when we know that this is the handwork of him and his wife? You know, they both planned this. So immediately, as soon as Jetta saw him, Jetta went to him, pretending she was crying, you know, saying, like, pretending as if she has been robbed, you know, like nobody's listening to her, nobody is believing her. Teresa had the nerve to steal from her, steal her 50K, whereas you people planned this together. You know, it was really a shame, like us. It was sad, you know, to see that a woman has done nothing but being good to you. Teresa stood by this guy when they were having issues with Clara. Teresa stood by Jonathan. But Jonathan forgets all of those things and look at Teresa, asking her why would Teresa steal from his wife. He actually believed her. Yes, it actually be like making Teresa like, after everything I've done for you. You know, Teresa is even trying to defend herself, and the next thing she saw was a slap. You know, that pushed her to the ground. You know, like, Jonathan, look at his way. How could you even raise your hand against a woman? Benny was shocked. Like, Benny could not believe that her father raised his hand against her aunt. You know, and he didn't care about whatever Teresa has done for him. What mattered to him was that Teresa stole from his wife, and for stealing from his wife, she needs to go. You know, she needed to leave his house. But that's funny, because if this woman was a thief, when Clara wanted Teresa to come and stay by her place, Teresa would have gone if she was a type that loved money and loved food. You know, because Clara owned the restaurant. But Teresa stood by this guy's corner just to make sure he was okay, to take care of, you know, her niece and him. And today, this is how he chooses to pay her back. This is crazy, like us. Some people will never recognize the good things that you do for them. You know, why Teresa was talking to him, it was more like emotional blackmail, and to him, it's not working. You know, he wants Teresa to leave, and he wants her to leave now. You know, and when Teresa was talking, he intended to beat her up again. That was when Benita could not take it anymore and had to hit her father's head with a flour jar, because to her, like, how low can you go than this? You know, to her, it didn't make sense that her father would want to be beating her aunt. So, like, as we are going to end this video, thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate you guys. We should be very careful of the people we bring around us. Some people are very destructive. Some people are there to just destroy your life, to see you sink. Jetta is a typical example. Emeka and Benita, those are Debbie, those are typical examples. Like they say, marriage is not the end of the world. Marriage is not everything. You know, we should always protect ourselves. We should always keep ourselves safe, okay, from every negativity. On this note, I'll have to say bye, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, I will not be doing reviews after this, okay.